Well, g'day, I'm John from Styromax, and today let's talk about installing a Eurovision window into a Styromax composite panel. So, what are we going to need? What tools are we going to need? Firstly, you're going to need a cordless drill with a Phillips head bit in the end of it, a regular Phillips head hand screwdriver, and a roll of tape. If you happen to be doing this job alone, if you've got a friend to help you, you won't be needing the tape. Alright, so let's unpack first. So unpacking your window is quite easily. They are packed extremely well. You'll get a bag of screws, assembly screws, and of course the all-important instructions inside there. So you can grab hold of the window, lift up, it should fall away. And then just lay your window carefully down on the styrofoam inserts. And carefully lift away your blind ensemble. It comes separated. And then you have your window assembly. Inspect the window assembly for any damage before you go any further. Okay, in the box you will get your outer panel assembly or the window assembly. You will get the inner frame, like so. You'll get your blind panel assembly, like so. And of course you'll get the fitting accessories. You'll get the M4x14 set screws. They'll more than likely be, that's what will attach the inner to the outer coming out of the box. You'll get a set of the M4x20 set screws. You'll be needing those to install this together in a typical Styromax panel. And you get your installation instructions and of course your operating instructions. So hang on to them, they're pretty important. Okay, first things first, when you get your Eurovision window, you will see that the inner frame is actually screwed to the window assembly with the shorter screws that come with the windows. So what you have to do is take all those out. It's best to have a magnetic tipped screwdriver so it's easy removal of the screw, and then simply remove the inner frame just by simply lifting away from the window assembly. Now a typical Eurovision window will fit a wall thickness of around 24 to 34 millimeters. You'll need to use the longer screw that comes in the kit for that. With a Styromax panel that's at 29 mil, we're going to require you to use the M4x20 screws that come with it. Now if you do happen to have a thicker wall panel for some reason, there are inner ring brackets you can buy. Now these are virtually spacers, so although this is a black one, the spacers just go over like so, and it virtually just makes the window fit a thicker panel, so to speak. It's just spacing this blind ensemble away from the window assembly. So you can get them for 34 to 44 mil, and you can also get them for 44 to 54 mil. Okay, so let's install the outer panel assembly or the window assembly into the hole cavity of the Styromax panel. Now, important when you're doing that, the locks down at the bottom here, be it 2 if it's a smaller window or 3 if it's a bigger, make sure they are facing down as you install this window. So now this is where, if you've got a second person, this makes this job easy. You simply install the window like so. Okay, well, you're on your own, but you really want to get this job done. So how am I going to do this on my own? This is how you do it. You take your styro tape, which is 100-mile-an-hour tape, manufactured by Henkel, of course. And we simply put the window in place. Now you want to make sure you use some pretty good quality tape for this, because you do not want the window to fall out at this point. Okay, that'll be enough to hold it for what we've got to do inside. So we'll move inside and complete the installation. Okay, welcome to inside Jeff's caravan that we did for one of our DIY build shows. So we've got the window in the wall cavity. So before you fit your inner trim, probably the best thing you can do is just admire how professionally cut the panel is. The Styromax panel is cut for your window cavity. So before you cover that up, just make sure you have a good look at it. Okay, so let's put the inner ring onto the outer frame. So probably the most important thing here is to make sure that these little sheet metal tabs are facing up. So it's installing it this way, not this way, okay? So we're going to install it with those little tabs up, because that's what your blind ensemble is going to hook onto. Okay, so we just carefully offer the inner ring in position, and you'll grab one of your M4x20 set screws, put it on the end of your screwdriver, through the hole, into the nutsert. You'll feel it start to go, so just do that one up loosely. I'd probably do one diagonally opposite. And pretty much repeat this process all the way around. Just don't over tighten the screws. Alright guys, I really like to use just a hand screwdriver for this. It's just because you're screwing into some M4 nutserts, you know, and I just tend to feel with a hand screwdriver, you just get a bit more of a feel for it. The last thing you want to do is strip or cross thread these little nutserts. Of course, if you use a cordless drill or something, that's a bit of a possibility with that, because you won't really feel it. So if you are going to use a cordless drill, I'd make sure you use one with a clutch, and probably have that clutch set at about halfway, so if it does find any resistance, the clutch will kick in and slip before any damage is done. Okay, so once you're done, just quickly go around, make sure there's a screw in each hole, just nip them up with some firm pressure, not too tight. Doesn't need to be tight, because installing these windows on a flat wall like a Styromax panel is, there's just 100% seal, so there's just there'll be no chance of a water leak between the window and the panel whatsoever. Okay, so then you're done, and don't be concerned if you get left with a couple of screws over. That's generally always the case. They always supply a few more screws than you need, which is good, in case you happen to drop or lose one. Okay, so let's now move to the blind ensemble. Okay, now as we previously discussed in fitting this inner ring, we wanted it with the sheet metal tabs here at the top. Very important. Here's your blind ensemble. Okay, you've got the block out blind from one direction, the screen from the other. Now, of course, this, believe it or not, can be installed two ways. In most cases, we'll install them here like so, which is blind coming down from the top. However, in perhaps a shower area, you might want it the other way. So you can actually install this upside down, so to speak, so the blockout blind comes from below. So you can sort of cover the private pits and leave a bit of vent there for the steam to escape. Okay, what we're trying to do is to get those sheet metal tabs to hook into the extrusion here of the blind ensemble. It's pretty important that we do that. Okay, so you've got your blind ensemble hooked over the little sheet metal tabs, and then what you can do is you can see the inner part of the blind ensemble here, and you can actually slide this from side to side a bit. So you generally just align it so it aligns with the edge of the inner ring. Okay, now we've got that in place, so it's time to open up the blind covers. So you can carefully get your fingers up underneath and click and pull out. Same at the bottom. And what that's going to do is expose our mounting holes, where we'll now screw this blind to the wall. Okay, now's where you have to use your cordless. Make sure you use one with a clutch. We're going to screw this blind ensemble to the wall. We don't want to overdo it, because it's only fiberglass that we're screwing into. Although it'll be strong enough to hold, you just don't want to go too tight, that's all. Okay, so there we go, we've got the blind ensemble installed now, and of course we do have 2 screws left over, but as I mentioned earlier, you do get spare ones, so don't be alarmed with that. You only need 4 screws to install this blind ensemble to the Styromax panel. Okay, so now that's done, it's installed in there, it's safe to take the styro tape off. So that'll carefully peel off, like so. And of course the fun part is you get to take the plastic layer off the window. Okay, so there you have it. There's the installation instructions on a Eurovision window into a Styromax panel. So there's about 20 different sizes of these windows available, so it's quite a huge range. So check out our website for our listings, and hit us up on the website for that.